Welcome to another Fierce Street review. Today I am getting into VHS 94, which drops on Shudder today. So we're continuing our method of being late and loud to the party. Knowing me, there's going to be a couple of spoilers just because it's hard to review, especially an anthology, without giving away a couple of details. So if you're anti spoilers, shut it down right now, come back later, and we can discuss afterwards because the internet's forever, we think. I don't know, like Facebook and them had a moment this week, so we'll see. In Hughes, VHS 94 can best be described as after the discovery of a mysterious VHS tape. A brutish police SWAT team will launch a high intensity raid on a remote warehouse, only to discover a sinister cult compound whose collection of pre recorded material uncovers a nightmarish conspiracy. It's an anthology, and I had a really good time with the first two stories. I would say I would go as far as say the first two and a half stories actually, which I mean is kind of a lot for a lot of anthologies because people are whipping them out left and right, and they're just kind of a mixed bag. So we start off with Storm Drain, which is just like it's the right amount of fun and what the fuckery to keep me posted. You know, we have like this reporter investigating an urban legend of the Rat Man, and it was a good time. It made me feel nostalgic for the '90s horror movies that I would watch as a kid on like TBS and TNT and USA, and I was like, okay, that's a good intro to whatever this is gonna be. And then the second one happened, which is The Empty Wake, which is my favorite of the whole film. I feel like it's probably the tightest, and that like it gives you that creepy factor. It gives you the haunting feeling. It's fucking with you. You know, it's the one that you'll go back to. I really love that one. I would have loved to see this be a full movie. This second story, it made it all worthwhile. Like literally, for all of my complaints, I'm happy I saw that one. The third situation is The Subject, which starts off strong with our throwback mad scientist vibes, and you're like, I remember this era. Yeah, let's do this. And then it takes a we're gonna mow grass again. Awesome. And then it takes a turn, and it becomes sort of a first person shooter, which is not my aesthetic. Like, even though I loved survival horror games, I'd never gotten to the first person shooters. And so seeing the longer part of this section become that was a lot for me, and I did not have a good time. But I can see like my film friends who like study technique and them being like, oh, this is wild and I love it. And so I'm definitely going to just say that one's not for me as opposed to it's a shit show. I also just really like the person who put that one together because he's also the mind that gave us May the Devil Take You. And so I like when he's unleashed a feature length, and I'm sure I'll be there for the next one as well. So they end this anthology with it's a short called Terror. And it's just it gave big 90s MAGA energy, and I didn't need that. I didn't want that. By the time we got to what this movie was supposed to be for this specific section, I didn't care. I just wanted it over with. I mean, granted, it was fun seeing some faces get ripped off, but it just was not for me in this point in time. And so I didn't need it. It felt too soon. It just felt way too fucking soon. The wraparound story also let people down. I feel like did a disservice to the two and a half that I really enjoyed because they deserved a better wraparound to tie it all together, and it felt like it was just happening. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that was the choice and why that was the aesthetic, and I don't know. Um, but it was not for me. So again, I had fun with the first two and a half stories. I didn't enjoy the wraparound, and I did not need the fourth story whatsoever for my own personal life. I'm gonna say overall, this is a strong May for me. It's not a yay. It's not a May. It's not a nay. Again, like most anthologies, can't give you two and a half stories you're looking for anymore. And I watch a lot of them because like I keep rooting for them because I'm the creep show Tales from the Hood girl, and so I'm always reading for an anthology even when it's not reading for itself. And so I would say it's a May. Yeah, it's gonna be a mixed bag as usual, unfortunately. Uh, I I also just feel like the wraparound story specifically is what fails the movie, because if I could get over the MAGA situation at the end, or the '90s version of MAGA at the end, that wraparound story didn't like reinstill faith or confidence. It was just sort of like tacked on. It felt like, as opposed to this is a purpose, this is a reason. It just felt like, oh yeah, afterthought. Um, Anywho's, I'm excited to see what y'all feel about it, because a lot of people will have a lot of thoughts on all of them. Um, so yeah, special thanks to our friends at Brigade Marketing and Shutter for making sure we got a screener so I could have any thoughts. Feel free to hit us up in the comments if you agree, not the DMs. You can also agree to disagree. That's completely up to you. I feel like it's a found footage anthology, so I feel like we're all gonna have different opinions and thoughts, and that is what makes the world go round. Yeah. Cheers to that. Uh, Bye.